Hi guys, this is Kenny. It's been a while since I last did my project analysis video. So today, this video is thanks to my client Eugene. He actually encouraged me to do more of this video so I can contribute more to my followers. So I know I'm a little bit late into this game because Zyon Grand has already started its preview. So the preview will end on 21st October and it will start its launch on 25th October. And for those who didn't join the preview, I believe there should be some supply around in the market because there's Promenade Peak, there's Riviere Green, and I mean apart from Zyon Grand, I don't know how the sale is going to be. It's quite a big project actually. After this, we have Riviere Modern, and even if you miss Riviere Modern, there's actually a River Valley Parcel C coming up after that. So I think there's plenty of choices for you to choose from. So if you are familiar with the Great Wall area, you must have seen, they already barricade the whole area, they are starting on the foundation and everything. So Zyon Grand is going to be one of the biggest or rather largest icon in the Great Wall City area. So it's going to be very, very prominent. You have like big roads, main road going through like around Zyon Grand. Everyone can see it, okay? Great Wall City has been there for the longest time, and the addition of Promenade Peak and Zyon Grand for 63 level and 62 level kind of tall buildings, this will be one of the most iconic buildings in this area. Even if you go slightly further up, right, in the River Valley area, Martin Modern, Avenir, Irwell Hill, they are considered rather high in the area. They are about 36 stories high. Units in Martin Modern can see Marina Bay Sands, can see Sea View. Avenir also 36 stories high, but slightly higher than Martin Modern. The top floor can actually see Sea View actually, and even Marina Bay Sands. So being at 62nd floor and 63rd floor, what does it mean? You're like almost twice the height of these buildings. And you will enjoy a very nice panoramic view around the city area, either in the north or either in the south. So this will be something that is really interesting and also a reason why people are actually buying this. So this is Zyon Grand. We have two large towers for residential, and then we have one small tower for the service apartment. So I will cover more on the service apartment later and how it will affect this condo as a whole. And we have the CDL who is going to develop this project. Okay, CDL between CDL and Mitsui Fudosan. So it's a Japan developer. So we have two blocks of 62-story residential and one tower of 36-story service apartment. So the service apartment side is as tall as your normal River Valley, residential kind of project. There'll be restaurants, supermarket, and early childhood development center. So I believe, they're expecting, more and more young couples moving to the city area. They want to, stay close to town, easier commute to work, and based on the price point, this is when people are starting to come into this area. So previously, I think about 3-4 years ago, Irwell was the first one to have this kind of price point for people or young couples, young families to enter into town area. And for 2025, we are given this opportunity again. Okay, it was taken by Riviere Green previously. People have already stashed on the units. Then we have Promenade Peak. Okay, Promenade Peak a little bit different because the larger units they started on like the 44th floor and above. So the price point, there's already a premium on it. So Zyon Grand is also a little bit similar, okay, but the project is bigger compared to like surroundings like Riviere Green, to Promenade Peak, and to I think the upcoming Riviere Modern and the Parcel C. So this is in District 3. We have approximately 706 units, 565 residential car park lots. We are going to be a very iconic project in Great Wall City area. If you can see, these are the main roads. Okay, so cars are moving around. If you are driving around the area, I mean, I've been around the area. I've been handling projects like Martin Modern, Avenir, Irwell, and I also sold some of the smaller units in North Nathan, RV Residences. We just sold one bedroom in RV Residences. and previously sold a 4-bedroom penthouse in RV Residences, and then also some other units in OUE. So River Valley, I've been there multiple times, and if you ask me, this has been a vacant land for the longest time. Okay, so having 2 big towers and then 1 smaller tower, we don't say small because it's 36 stories high, it's actually the same height as other condos in the area. So it's actually like 3 big towers, you know, in the area. Very, very iconic, very prominent kind of building over there. Plus, if we have the design by the architect, how it, you know, the curves around, if you see the artist impression, how they do the RC ledge around the building, it's going to be very different from the usual buildings that we see in River Valley area. Okay, so the inspiration is drawn from the orchid. So the architect is by ADDP. Okay, they have done iconic projects like New Futura, which is also by CDL. Okay, so this is also a project I would feel quite similar to Zyon Grand. Why I say so is because New Futura, they also have curves around the property also, like the floor plan. Okay, so the balcony also curves. Okay, but Zyon Grand has a better layout. Later I'll show you why. Okay, another one is Multi Modern. This is by another developer, Gogo Land. So Multi Modern is also one of the most sought after resale projects in the River Valley area. The landscaping is very nice. The design is also very nice. The internal layout is also not bad. So overall, they are quite a good resale choice even until now. So like I mentioned earlier, the main roads, how it will make it look very iconic kind of feel. It will be a bit like when we drive up to Marina Bay Sands area, right? You only see Marina Bay Sands. That is the one and only iconic buildings in the area, in the whole area actually. And when tourists come over, right, they will also swam over to MBS. The main reason is also very simple. They only know there's this hotel there because it's so prominent. Everyone is talking about it. And if you go to like touristy areas, you walk along Marina Bay area, you go to Gardens by the Bay, Marina Barrage, or some other areas, people will keep talking about Marina Bay Sands. We hope that this kind of similar attribute, right, will actually be brought over to Zyon Grand, where people, when they come over to Great Wall area, they'll be like, oh, that's Zyon Grand. They wouldn't talk about other projects because all of them are quite hidden away. So for example, like River Green, it's tucked away behind some of the older condos like Cosmopolitan, Trillium, and then it's right beside Yuan Park. And then if you see up to the north, right, you have like Irwell Hill and some other projects there. So it will be like hidden away. But for Zyon Grand, it will be like very prominent. Same like its neighbor, Promenade Peak, because they are so high, so tall, the first thing they will see is Zyon Grand. And then after that, they will know Promenade Peak. Why this will be a good thing for you who are buying into Zyon Grand? One reason is because, like, for example, there's one project called Jadescape in Chunfu area. If you drive there, you will see one, you know, very majestic, dark, black, grey building over there. You'll be curious what it is. Because it's so new, it's like a stark difference between the old and the new properties or buildings there. So people are more willing to go into this because they know that, hey, this is the newest building over here, and they are willing to pay a premium for it. Another thing I also experienced is in Park Esta, Eunos area. So if you are driving past the Eunos, the main road, right, on the right side you will see Park Esta, and surrounding it are all very old buildings. Okay, just behind Park Esta, you have all the smaller old condos. Okay. Across it, you have like the HDBs. It's all very old, and Park Esta just stands out on its own, and that's also one reason why people are willing to buy into it. Okay, because first thing, they are big projects. Okay, they are new and they are very prominent. So you may scan the QR code for more information and analysis. So for example, you are not looking into just Zyon Grand, you're looking around some other parts of Singapore. Feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to help you. So let's talk about the supply in this area. Okay, so just now I mentioned, like, apart from Zyon Grand, there's like Promenade Peak, there's like River Green, there's River Modern, there's another Parcel C. So over here you'll see that this is Promenade Peak, okay, the one I circled. Then we have River Green, okay. This one is River Modern, and then this one is Parcel C, okay. This is Riviere. Okay, Riviere was TOP I think 2 years ago. Yeah, but the thing is for Riviere is a bit different because the floor plan the units are bigger or larger in general. Okay, so this is a resale actually. So being a resale, we also put it into consideration, and if you go up slightly further, we also have Irwell. So in total, if you want to just compare the new launches, right, we have about 2,700 plus units. Okay, not inclusive of the newer resale ones. Okay, so this River Valley area, we are having 2,000 plus units fighting each other. Okay, you have projects like River Green, they are almost fully sold. Promenade Peak, 50% sold. And then Zyon Grand, we don't know what's the sales like yet. Okay, then we have River Modern, we have Parcel C. So all in all, having this kind of supply, do you think the developers are more cautious, or are they more greedy to actually push up the price higher and higher? So similar to what happened in Treasure at Tampines, about 2,200 units. Okay, although the areas are different. Okay, this one is in Tampines, one is in River Valley. That one was cheaper. You know, we can do a lot of different comparison, but ultimately, the developers only sold 10% on launch day. Okay, this is one developer holding on to 2,000 plus units. They were very afraid. Right now, we have a few different developers. Okay, they each have their own project, their own unique selling point, and their own break even, you know, their own profit gain margin and whatnot. Okay, so you put them together, they are going to fight with each other. So the last thing they probably want is to not be able to sell their units. So if they keep pushing their price higher and then the competition don't want to increase the price and they sell it first, okay, then they'll be stuck with this kind of units in the market. I mean, based on my experience, when I've seen units in town, right, some units they take very, very long to sell if the price is not right. Because in town area, a lot of the people buying, they're very logical. If they see the number is not right, it doesn't match what they want in terms of rental yield, in terms of entry price, they wouldn't buy it because they have plenty of choices in the market. So given that, I would say that the developers are even more cautious when they want to price their units, and how are they going to move ahead from there. Okay, so this is the site plan for Zyon Grand. Okay, if you notice, we have 2 blocks. So this is Zyon Grand site plan. From what we are seeing here, right, this is actually the elevated level 1. So the people who are on road level, right, they are actually not going to see what's in the condo. For example, the pool, I mean the landscaping and everything. So units, big unit, they are facing towards south area. So the higher you go, the better the CV. Smaller units facing the other side. So this one a bit dangerous because you are facing towards Promenade Peak. This one's still a good distance to the neighboring building. Okay, so for Zyon Grand, one very, very good thing is that certain stacks, right, or rather certain floor plan or bedroom sizes, they run from the bottom to the top. So for example, like the 4-bedroom, okay, if you see the 4-bedroom premium, okay, highlighted in pink here, going up, okay, so they actually start from the lower level all the way to 42nd floor before they switch to another bigger layout. Okay, but if you compare this to Promenade Peak is the bigger units, right? The 4-bedroom, for example, they will only start from the 44th floor all the way to the top. So what it means is that these units here at the bottom, if we compare it to Promenade Peak 4-bedroom, essentially we have a very good price gap between them. Okay, then if you are someone who is looking at a lower quantum, you don't want to be so high floor, maybe you like something that's about 10 odd floor, okay, then you can consider getting one of the 4-bedrooms here in Zyon Grand, compared to some other projects where they have, like, you know, they start at the higher floor, they already have the premium loaded on it. So I have one client who asked me, okay, why is there only one bidder for Zyon Grand? Why is that so? Okay, and it turns out that service apartment component is one of the killers for a lot of developers. Why? In order to to have this, right, meaning to say you want to build an extra building, but you cannot sell. Is it equivalent to you putting your money there and then having it stuck there for like the next 20 years, 30 years, 50 years or even more? So to a developer, does it really make sense? Or are they capable of having this sum of this amount of funds being stuck in this particular project for that long? Okay, so which is why it's a little bit difficult for smaller developers to really take on this kind of project. So CDL, they actually took it up. So for example, if we have about 400 rooms and renting out at $10,000 per month, it generates us about $4 million. If the initial investment for this service apartment is about $500 million, they need about 100 years to actually recuperate this amount back to their business. So answering to the question of my client when he asked about, why is Zyon Grand's land bid lower than, Promenade Peak? So the answer to this will be, the developers, they are not paying lower because of the market, you see. They are paying lower because no one dares to take up the service apartment component, and CDL is willing to do it. Okay, same thing happened to the one in Upper Thomson near Springleaf area. So previously, they put up for sale, okay, and then if I remember correctly, it didn't went through. And then after that, they have this service apartment component. So until a certain period of time, they realized that no one is really going to bid for this project, because who wants to build a service apartment in Upper Thomson? You see, there's no tenant pool. Okay, even if there is, are they willing to pay a good price or high price for it? No, that's one thing lah. So I think recently they just make it optional. So I think this will regain developers' confidence to bid for the land again, because that is really a good land. I mean, judging by how Springleaf performed, this next one will be actually pretty good as well. So the pros for residential buyers, some will be thinking like, I have service apartment, in my project. How is it going to help me? So we probably have to go down to the fundamentals on why people are staying in a service apartment. So for example, previously I had a client, they bought a property with me, but before they buy the property in Singapore, right, they were going around different places to recce. So Singapore is one of it. They recce Singapore. What did they do? They stay in the hotel for that few days. Okay, they go around Singapore, they view properties with me, they understand Singapore's culture, whether it suits them, the living conditions, what's going on in the government, everything, before they decide, they want to move in here. So when they move here, right, in order for them to have a more comfortable short stay compared to like, hotel is more pricey, service apartment is actually the next best choice. Like people who want to have like a month or two kind of a short stay, and then to really, immerse themselves into the culture, into the food, into the transport, everything, knowing the place inside out before they really move their barang from overseas over. You see? So from hotel, okay, they come here, they stay in hotel, then they feel that, hey, this place is really not bad. They will move to service apartment. Okay, so for example, if Zyon Grand by the time it's going to complete, it's going to be the most iconic building in this area. Okay, people come here, they will probably go for this instead of the older service apartment, right, which is right beside the Great Wall apartments. Okay, that's also a service apartment. Okay, and if they really like this area, this location, this project in general, can I say that there's a higher chance of them moving to a residential unit for longer stay within Zyon Grand? That could be, right? Because if they love this place so much, you suddenly ask them to move like slightly further away, they might feel a bit uncomfortable because they are so used to their place. There's direct access to MRT, it's just a short walk. Opposite still got McDonald's at Shell station, you see. Just a short walk, they can reach Great Wall City. So there will be a higher chance that they might just hire a mover. They tell the mover, hey, can you move my stuff from this service apartment over to the residential unit there? So it's easier in the overall process also lah. Okay, so I shared about the pros of having a service apartment. Okay, But what is the cons? Okay, the cons, you see, the pros are we have a lower land cost. You have a steady supply of like tenant pool. Okay, so it's always going to be high occupancy rate within Zyon Grand. Okay, you have the service department servicing for you, like, you know, getting tenants here, and then maybe they will transit over to residential side. Easier, more prominent, more iconic. But the trade-off will be because previously I mentioned that the developer they put a huge sum of money into service department, right? And they need like a very, very long time to recuperate this kind of the funds, you see. There could be a chance, based on my personal views, that there could be a chance that the price wouldn't be too low. Even though we know the indicative price now. But there could be a chance that, you know, the developers at a certain stage, they might load more premium on the units more and more, because it'll be easier for them to get back their losses through these means. Okay, so if you are those who are looking at the preview, I think the chances are the prices are going to be very, very low. Okay, but if you are those who still like Zyon Grand, but it's after preview, okay, then we really need to sit down, understand all the different floor plan, different layouts, the different levels, okay, and then to really find out which one is really worth it to go in. And of course, we still need to, you know, compare with other projects in the surrounding areas, so we can make this decision. So next we have the pricing strategy. Looking at the numbers, right, this is the starting price of Promenade Peak and River Green. Why do I say that ground floor estimate 3,036? It's because based on the fact that if the highest floor is about 3,600 PSF, okay, if per floor jump is 0.5%, okay, the ground floor for River Green by right should be about 3,000 PSF starting from. Okay, so the developers actually price it lower, but what happened? In the middle they have premiums. So per floor jump, it might not be 0.5% anymore. It could be like different percentages here and there, and then finally reaching up to 3,006. Okay, Promenade Peak is quite steady. They are doing about 0.5% per floor jump, and if we put it for Zyon Grand, based on 3,006, if the maximum PSF is there, their starting price should be about 2,688. Okay, but based on the indicative, it's about 2,700. Okay, so we can see that the developers are actually trying to recuperate a bit of their funds in the service department already. Okay, but the prices wise, I think is still a very good quantum because of the different floor plans, the different sizes and stuff. I think Zyon Grand, in terms of pricing wise, they really did a very good job, because they really found a niche in different segments, and then to really push that certain stack, and then to maximize it. So moving on to the floor plan analysis, okay, Zyon Grand's 1+ study is quite special, I would say, because if you notice, they don't have a balcony, okay, which makes the whole unit size, right, smaller than usual. Okay, but because this is a harmonized project, right, 474 square feet for 1+ study is still considered rather okay. Okay, so without the balcony, investors can save a bit more, okay, and they can also get a higher rental yield. So for investors, this is really, really one of the good choice out there. I mean, there's only one stack, so nothing to really talk about, except for the fact that if you really don't mind, please purchase at the lowest floor possible. Okay, because that will be the cheapest entry, and it will probably guarantee you a better rental yield compared to a higher floor. Okay, so based on Riviere's 1-bedroom, we should be expecting about 4,000 odd kind of rental per month. Okay, so Riviere transacted about 1.8 million for 1-bedroom. 1.8 million for 1-bedroom. I think is about 500 odd square feet, so not too far from us. So the starting price for this should be about 1.3, which is really very good. Okay, there's about $500,000 gap between Riviere, which is a new one, and Zyon Grand. So it's quite obvious which one to buy. Oh, you see, 560 square feet. Okay, so the key feature, study room and then no balcony. So study room can be like a storeroom lah, once you seal it up, which is quite a rare thing for a lot of one bedrooms in the market nowadays, because a lot of them, they have no idea where to store their luggages, where to put their stuff. You see, so the study can be a very good area for us to do so. Only thing I have to say is the study here a bit small lah, a bit small. Riviere Green here, you still can seal up and then become like a, you know, you can put single size bed, like a 2-bed 1-bath kind of feel lah, but it's not really a 2-bed 1-bath. Okay. This one for Promenade Peak still can hack away the wall. Okay. But there's one thing I really like. Promenade Peak here, they have a window in their bathroom. So this is actually quite rare lah. This will be one of the better choice personally for me. So between the 1 bedrooms, if the price point for Zyon Grand, I mean by the time you are at your queue, right, the price point is still lower than what these two have, right, then still go for Zyon Grand will be better. Okay. Otherwise, if you are really matching the prices, right, if between Promenade Peak and Zyon Grand, if you have the same price, then I will actually feel that you can try for the 1+ study in Promenade Peak. So this wall you can hang down, and then for them to seal up this wall and then to make it into a like a L-shaped wardrobe or a bigger wardrobe in general. Let's move on to the 2-bed. One thing to highlight is if you see the RC latch, right, this is how they design the orchid, you know, the design around the whole building. So I've actually heard of this architect or designer who spoke about this before. He's so famous, I forget what his name is. Someone shared about why is he so famous. The main reason is that he don't design the building first. He designed the layout first, and then he designed the building around it. So this is the case for Zyon Grand. So when we talk about like maybe New Futura, it's beautiful, it's very nice, you know, the curves, everything. But the balcony is shaped like curvy lor. You have to put your zip tie a bit difficult. So in this case, Zyon Grand maintain a good floor plan. You know, everything is very squarish, easy to design, easy to manipulate the space. But they still have this RC latch where, you know, you have this kind of curves to beautify the whole building, which is very nice. So 2-bed 1-bath, very good size, 538 square feet. Okay, so I remember only Riviere Green has it. Okay, Promenade Peak starts from 2-bed 2-bath onwards. So Zyon Grand, this 2-bed without balcony is really a good addition in this area. Okay, and there's only one stack. My one 就没有了. The price point I remember is also quite attractive. So if you can get something that is still within that, by all means go for it. So estimated rental about $5,500 per month, just taking an average between the resale in the area. Okay, so Irwell Hill, 2-bed 1-bath, highest transacted at $1.8 million. If this is going for 1.5, we still have a very good $300,000 gap between the resale and the new launch. So competition, we only have Irwell and Riviere Green. Okay, so moving on to the comparison. Okay, Zyon Grand no balcony, 538 square feet. Riviere Green got balcony. Okay, you have a enclosable kitchen, 527 square feet. Riviere Green floor plan is actually better, in my opinion. Okay, but if the price point for the current units, right, if you really cannot find one in Riviere Green, okay, Zyon Grand will be still a better choice. Because resale has already hit 1.8 ma, so as long as you don't hit 1.8, I think it's still quite safe lah. Okay, so add a bit more, just a bit more square feet, you'll be reaching 2-bed 2-bath in Riviere Green. Okay, so here also enclosable kitchen, also got balcony. The main thing I would say that the price must be right before we enter into this project. Okay, moving on to 2-bed 2-bath. There's only one stack, and it's a corner stack. Okay, because they gave us a window for the master bathroom, which is not bad lah for a 2-bed 2-bath. Okay, so size wise, 646 square feet is also not bad. It's actually quite in the middle between the Riviere Green and Promenade Peak. Room sizes, layout quite standard, Okay, so if you're looking at Irwell, they have already transacted 2.2 million. Okay, and Riviere $2.5 million. Competition, you'll see more because 2 bed 2 bath is like the minimum in the town area. So comparison between the 2 bed 2 bath floor plan. Okay, so Zyon Grand has a window at the master bath. Promenade Peak don't have. I mean, the layouts are quite standard. Riviere Green, you have an enclosable kitchen, size smaller. Okay, so you see 646. Then this one is 689. Then I think this one is 678, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so it's like in the middle. They found like a middle point for the size, and it's actually not bad lah. Again, for 2 bed 2 bath, don't have to go too high because going too high, I mean, usually 2 bed 2 bath is for some people who like own stay and investment. So unless you are a sucker for good view lah, you're a sucker for, like, you know, I want to have like a block view all the way, by all means. But so far what I've seen in the recent market, actually not much difference. Okay, moving on to the 2 bed plus study. Okay, so 2 bed plus study is like, you know, in the middle between 2 bed 2 bath and 3 bedroom. So you have enough space for a small room, but not big enough to call it a bedroom. So essentially that's 2 plus study. So usually they will have aircon. And then it's a good size lah. You want to put a single size bed also can. You want to cut it into half. Behind is like the storeroom. Then in front you want to put some table, you know, for your own, like a study area also can. It's not like you have to make it into a full study. Okay, expected rental about $7,000 per month. That's based on the surroundings. But the resale ones, they don't really have 2 plus study. So it's just getting like the average between the 2 bed 2 bath and the 3 bed. So Promenade Peak units are now from 2.148. And if you can get something below, I think it will be quite a good steal. So competition, there will be other layouts in Promenade Peak and Riviere Green. So only the newer ones has it. So resale ones like Irwell, Riviere doesn't have it. Okay, two stack means you have more supply. So be very cautious if you're looking at this 2 plus study layout. So comparing the between the different projects, the use of space is more efficient in the Zyon Grand and Riviere Green. But I don't know why they so special. Here got one more window lah for the master bath. Here also a bit wasted. This reminds me of one particular project. It's called 1 Burnham. So 1 Burnham, they are 2 bed 2 bath. Yeah, they have something similar, very similar. I mean, it was sold out lah. Recently, they just TOP only. Riviere Green, I would say that the size is very small. I was sharing that, you know, Zyon Grand, they actually found a sort of like a niche between Riviere Green and Promenade Peak. Like for the past different layouts, right? When we compare, it's just nice in the middle, This one also same. This one about 780 plus, 760 plus. This one is 721 square feet. So it's like they just found something that is smaller than Promenade Peak, but bigger than Riviere Green, and they really maximize the efficient use of the space within the floor plan, which is really attractive. So let me do a quick summary on the different floor plans for the smaller units. Okay, so 1 plus study, limited stack. Okay, this means that the supply is very low. Okay, even if you compare to like other ones, it's quite difficult lah. Okay, so the 1 plus study, if the price point is low, I would say you can consider going. So for the 2 bed 1 bath, it's actually one of the top pick for me. Okay, because it has a really low entry point. So around the area, just how we compare, only Irwell Hill and Riviere Green has this. Okay, Promenade Peak doesn't have, Riviere doesn't have, and Riviere the 2 bed I think about 818 square feet, very big. So in terms of price point and all, it is not like there's a huge gap between this 2 bed 1 bath and the other 2 bedrooms. So if you can, between 1 plus study and 2 bed 1 bath, my top pick is still 2 bed 1 bath. If 2-bedroom bath, the price I'm priced out, or the price of PSF is too high, I would go for 1 plus study. For 2-bed 2-bath, this is like a minimum requirement for those who want own stay. Master bath with window, this is quite good, and considering that it's a corner unit, some people really like corner units. Multi-modern comparables at $2 million is really a good between own stay and investment. Okay, time for a break. So if you have any questions, it doesn't have to be new launch. It can be resale. You have questions about a certain location. How do you compare between the different condos? In the resale market, how are they performing? What are the transaction prices? You want to plan for a timeline when you're upgrading from this HDB or condo to a next property. Okay, so these are things that I can help you out with. So moving on to the 3-bedroom. Okay, this is a very interesting layout. First thing, expected rent should be about 8,000 plus for this area. So 2-bedroom in Riviere has already transacted at $2.5 million, and this 3-bedroom in Zyon Grand is starting from 2.2. So you can do the math. So competition wise, I'm comparing with Irwell in Riviere. Okay, so key features, this one has no enclosed kitchen. Okay, so all bedrooms can fit queen size bed. This one king size. Okay, this one has a window, and this one has no window, and only one stack. So in Zyon Grand, there's also another 3-bedroom layout, which I personally think is better. Okay, so because it has an enclosed kitchen, there's a window here. Okay, bathroom also window, and there's also another window here. When you compare these two, I would actually prefer this more. Finding something similar in Riviere. Okay, this one has enclosed kitchen, window also, and the bathroom also got window. Same thing for Irwell, bathroom window, window. The first layout, personally, I don't really like it, because buying the 3-bedroom and then having an open kitchen, this is a no-go for a lot of people who are buying for own stay. I think they would rather go for 2 plus study instead of this 3-bedroom, because this is a bit stretching. It's a bit stretching. If you can, okay, please go for this layout. This layout is much better. In terms of the resale market, I think this will perform better also. Moving on to the other 3-bedroom floor plan. Okay, so we notice that this one is a bit different. This one has a home shelter. So this is what we call the 3-bed premium floor plan. So rent could be higher. Okay, Riviere 3-bed sold at $3.6 million. Okay, and this is starting from 2.9 million. So there's a very, very good gap between this and the resale ones nearby. The combination using Promenade Peak and Riviere. So this is everything you need for a 3-bed premium unit. Okay, of course, they call it 3 plus study. Okay, but essentially, if you remove the study, it's going to be like a very nice landscape living room. Okay, only thing I don't like is the pillar. Okay, the pillar is a bit sorting for me. So like what I shared with you previously, CDL like to find the gap, or rather the niche between like the bedroom type between like Promenade Peak or River Green. They also found the same for the 3-bedroom plus study. So for something more comparable, Riviere, we have 1249 square feet. Okay, you have 3 plus study, but essentially this is like a 3-bedroom plus utility. It's like a 3-bed premium, because this study, right, will end up becoming like the maid's room. Okay, they will seal up here, like the doors, and then it will become a maid's room. For Promenade Peak, 1033 square feet, you're getting also a 3-bed premium. Okay, because enclosed kitchen, and then this one household shelter will be the maid's room, and then you have a vertical, this one you see, vertical living room. And for Zyon Grand, household shelter usually is for the maid's room, and we have an additional space for a study room. Okay, if you compare between the two different layouts, right, they have a vertical living room. Okay, but this one has the flexibility to remove the study room and to make it like a very, very big landscape living room. I would say that CDL already put a lot of thoughts into this. This 3-bed premium plus study is one of my top choice between the 3 bedrooms, be it in the new launch or the resale market. Okay, So I think it will really stand out even when it TOPs, right, in the sub-sale or resale market, it will also stand out. Okay, so moving on to the 4-bedroom. Floor plan is very decent, very nice. They have private lift. This is a must-have for the big units, especially in the CCR area. Irwell 4-bed has already sold at $5 million. And this is only starting from 3.9. Let's put it 4 million. We have a $1 million gap between the resale and the new launch. Okay, so I believe the higher we go, it will be like 5 million odd, definitely. So in this case, right, what I would say is that if you can get a high floor unit but cheaper than what was sold in the resale, if you go for something that is about 4.8 million range, 4.9 million range, I think it is still a good buy. Because the floor level will be very high, right? It'll be probably about 20 odd, 30 odd stories. And 4-bedroom premium plus private lift with a landscape living room, and you can have a very nice view towards, towards south area. You have to buy a high floor unit. So previously when I shared with you, right, the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, buy as low as possible. But when it comes to 4-bedroom, right, okay, if you can go for the higher level ones. If you don't have a choice, but you still want to go for a 4-bedroom, you can still go for a lower floor level one. It's just that, the profit margin for the higher floor might be higher. Okay, essentially they're buying for own stay. And most of them are willing to pay a premium for this kind of view. Okay, so the 4-bedroom premium, they have 3 different layouts. Actually not much difference based on what I'm seeing. It's just that this master bedroom has a dressing table area, and for this one, it's a 4+ study. So this side bigger. So this one also got the dressing area. I would say that 都差不多一样, it's almost the same. But this one, they will start from 44th floor. They will start from 44th floor. So this one will definitely be way more, more pricey than what we are seeing for the low levels. So next we have our 5-bedroom floor plan. So 5-bedroom floor plan is very standard, very good floor plan actually. Okay, so something to share with you over here. Riviere 4-bedroom 7th floor was transacted at $6 million. Ours, we have an additional bedroom. We are starting from 44th story, and the starting price is from $6 million. Which one should you buy? Competition, we have Promenade Peak and Riviere. The supply is very low, okay, because we only have 44th floor up to 61st story. Moving next, we have our competition, Riviere. I think this one is about 2002 square feet. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4-bedroom. 4-bedroom, 2,000+ square feet. I would say that in terms of the efficient use of space, right, it's not that well. Okay, because they have a lot of walkway space. Okay, we also have a direct competition, okay, which is Promenade Peak's 5-bedroom. So they also start from higher floor levels. Okay, one thing might really affect the resale buyers, they have objection to buy this property, right, is over here. Okay, why? Because when we're looking at it from the balcony, right, we're looking outside the balcony. Okay, on your left, unblocked, but when you look on the right, it is blocked. So you're getting lesser sunlight, you're getting lesser panoramic view. Okay, this will not be a very good thing to have when you're looking at big units, especially in the town area. It's not about money anymore, it's about the feel. When I buy this property, I want to feel like I'm on top of the world. Some people like that. And compared to that, I feel that Zyon Grand will really stand out in the resale market in the future. So a summary of 3 to 5 bedrooms, okay? Given a choice, I would prefer the slightly bigger 3-bedroom because it has an enclosed kitchen. Okay, the layout is better. Okay, 3 premium plus study, do I have to say anything about it? Because it is like it fills the gap. CDL filled the gap between the resale and the new ones. It is really a must buy for this 3-bed premium plus study. 4-bedroom, compared to our direct neighbor Promenade Peak, they're starting from higher floor levels. This one you can buy way cheaper for a low floor level. Of course, given a choice, if I can go as high as possible for a better view, that'd be great. But we also have to be mindful about the entry price. So if really no choice, you can only buy a low floor, by all means go ahead, because 4-bedroom is still a very good property to change hands. Okay, that's all for today. So if you are looking at other new launches, or if you're looking at maybe resale, or you have questions in relation to property, feel free to contact me. If you really like the video that I've put up on YouTube, my channel, feel free to comment, so I'll be more motivated to do more of such content in the future. And as always, I'm Kenny, and I'll see you soon.